everyone, Emily here from Emily Reads, and today I have for you my April TBR. It's kind of chaotic, so this is not more my TBR, these are more TBR options. With the exception of two, the rest are maybe three, the rest are options. And the reason why I say that is I am doing covers with Cassidy. She has on her channel a Realmathon readathon for the month of April. And that's divided up into four teams. Go Team Bale, and you earn points that you can either use to defend yourself against other people's attacks, or you can attack other teams. That being said, Team Bale is kind of strong in numbers right now, last I knew. And so I'm afraid that people are going to be attacking Team Bale. So for that reason, I am saying these are some options that I might use. I might not use them. I don't know. For sure, I'm going to be reading two books. The first two books I'm going to describe. So the first book that I for sure will read is Grave Peril by Jim Butcher. And I say for sure I'm going to read this because I'm already on page 126. I know I'm not going to finish it tonight and tomorrow. There's just no way. So I'm going to continue reading this. This is the third book in the Dresden Files. Now, if I didn't know from other people on BookTube that Dresden Files gets better, I would have stopped it after Full Moon. Full Moon was just a bloodbath. I need to do a full review on that at some point in time. I did not enjoy it. I'm on page 126 in this one, and I'm already thoroughly enjoying it. It is for sure better than Stormfront, leaps and bounds better than Full Moon. But this story follows Harry, the wizard, in Chicago, and he, of course, he continues to help the Special Investigation Unit, and in this case, he is investigating ghosts that have been unleashed upon Chicago, and we meet a new character named Michael, who I've also have been really enjoying. So I'm looking forward to continuing in the Dresden Files. I also plan on reading Dragon Keeper by Robin Hobb, and I'm on page 122 so far. And this is the first book in the Rainwild Chronicles and the 10th book in the Realm of Elderlings. And so this just is going to give us more information about the dragons in the realm and more information about the Rainwilds. It's multiple POV. I'm already like, oh, I don't like this character. And there's one that I'm like, oh, I like her, but I'm afraid of some of the choices that she's making. Like, I understand why she's making the choices that she is, but I don't think it's going to work out for her too well. So, but that's typical Robin Hobb style. So I'm going to continue with Dragon Keeper. And then, I don't know, I've had The Great Hunt on my TBR for a long time. I started reading this weekend. I'm on page 50. And I started reading it, and I stopped it because my brain just was not focusing. My fear, I want to continue reading this series because it's so involved, and I'm afraid that if I have too much time between books, I'm just going to have a hard time remembering it. I picked it up over the weekend because on Friday went to prompt care. I had something that got infected, had a lump. I thought it was like a boil or something. It got infected. Went to prompt care, and the doctor said, he did a culture of it, and he said, this doesn't feel like a cyst, it doesn't feel like a boil, it feels like a tumor. You need to go to your primary care doctor and get this biopsied. Well then, my brain was spiraling, of course, and where it's located, I have a family history of cancer. My mother and my sister. And where it's so that had me panicking. So I picked up The Great Hunt over the weekend because I was like, oh, there's so many people involved. Like it's a big world building. I will need to pay attention. And then I realized my brain was still swirling. I wasn't paying attention. So I stopped reading and I picked up Dragon Keeper, Grave Peril, Comfort Reads. So at some point, I need to just keep plowing away on this. I might try to read a good chunk of this over Easter weekend in April. Otherwise, this will probably have to be put off until the summer, and I don't want to do that. Trying to put my books down. Then the next are, and for sure, I do for sure want to read Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. I backed his Kickstarter campaign, and I've only read the Mistborn Era 1, and so I need to get more involved in the Cosmere. So I need to go back and read from publication order. So Elantris for sure is going to be on the books. And then now we've got a whole bunch of, I don't know where these are all going to fit. These are all options. So the first is A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula Le Guin. And this follows Ged and tells his story. It's a coming of age story as he's an apprentice in training. And from what I understand, the story is told in flashback. I read this in high school, my freshman year. I loved it, and I've been wanting to reread this for years and years and years now. And finally, I just said I just need to do it. Another option is a reread of Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. I really enjoyed it. This is the story of Bree Matthews. She gets accepted to a high school, like, accelerated program where she can study at UNC Chapel Hill, yes? Yeah, UNC Chapel Hill. And her, like, first night there, her first weekend there, she witnesses someone, like, killing a demon. And so she ends up becoming enmeshed in a secret society called the Legendborn, and who has ties to King Arthur, and also learning about her family magic. It was a very interesting book. I'm looking forward to rereading it at some point in time this year. I don't know if it'll be April. I for sure will read this at some point in time in preparation for Bloodborne, the follow-up to this book. Another option is The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making. And this is about September, who really wants adventure. And she's invited to Fairyland by the Green Wind and a Leopard, and so she accepts. And Fairyland is in turmoil, and it will take one 12-year-old girl, a book-loving dragon, and a strange and almost human boy named Saturday to vanquish an evil Marquess, I can never remember how to pronounce that, and restore order. Not since Oz has there been a land or a cast of characters so rich and entrancing. So I've seen this book on BookTube before. It's by Catherine M. Valente. It looks like a cute middle school read, so I've been wanting to read this and then seeing, like, do I want to invest in the rest of the series and also potentially bring it to my classroom. Then another option, that's book 4. So I've already read book 1 and 2 in this quartet, and that would be either Squire by Tamora Pierce or Lady Knight by Tamora Pierce, and this is book 3 and book 4 in the Protector of the Small series, and it just continues to follow Caladri of Midlien as she is studying to become the first female to openly train to become a knight in the land of Tortal. And it's a cute middle grade read I've really been enjoying. I've read this numerous times in years past, and I've really been enjoying reading them. I've enjoyed having lighter fare in between all of the big chunky books of fantasy. So this is also a good book to. These are also good books to read. Like if you're a person who likes to read before going to bed, these are also good books to read before going to bed because they're not intense like Wheel of Time books where you're having to track all sorts of characters. Another option, this would be though, after I read Elantris, is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. Again, I just need to start plowing through the Cosmere. I really enjoyed Mistborn Era 1, and I want to get through the Cosmere. He's got LOA of Law, or no, not LOA of Law, Secret History. Secret History is the book 7, I believe. So he's got the fourth book, or the seventh in Mistborn Era 2, coming out in the fall. And like I said, I enjoyed Mistborn Era 1, and I really like Sanderson's storytelling style. It's not character driven like Robin Hobb, which I love Robin Hobb and her character development. What I like about Brandon Sanderson is it's an easier read. You can get into that world easily. So, Warbreaker is the story of two sisters, both of whom are princesses, and a god king. And one of them is supposed to marry the god king. And instead of one sister marrying him, the other sister goes and marries him. And then, from what I understand, this involves magic known as breath. And so I just am intrigued by it. I've heard so many people really enjoy Warbreaker. The cover I am not enjoying. Usually the UK covers are so much better than the US covers, but I just think that face, like, it's just weirdly photoshopped on or something, or whatever they use. Like, it just doesn't look right sitting on that person. So yeah. And then lastly, I don't know if I'm going to read this or not, but it is an option, is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I love this book so much. It's such a good read. I've read this easily 2 or 3 times already. So it's about Leia, who is a slave, and Elias, who is a soldier. And Leia, her brother, is arrested for treason. And Leia is like the scholar class, or the slave class. And so she decides to join up with the rebels to become a spy. And so she goes to be a servant or a slave at this military school where Elias is at. And Elias is like the best soldier that there is at this school. And Leia is actually the servant for the commander of the school, who is just vicious and also happens to be Elias's mother. So good. I don't want to give away any more than that. So good. I so loved how Sabaa Tahir intertwined like ancient Greek themes along with like Middle Eastern mythology. So I might reread this. There's a lot going on here. I don't know if I will or not, because I've read it a few times already, and I really want to focus on newer reads. But yes, this would be a really good prompt for the Realmathon. It hits a lot of things for it. I'm not going to say what, but that's why I'm kind of like, ooh, I could read this, but I have so many books I just want to get to that are new. So that is what I plan on reading. Let me know what you're reading. Let me know your thoughts on some of these books. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and have a wonderful dry Wednesday.